Good day, everybody. Brian here from quantlabsnet.com. Want to talk about a kind of a breakthrough. I've talked about option chain data not working. Well, I created an AI, or AI created a Python script for me that actually works. So I'm going to make this available to all of my elite members. If I can get this working, you can see the TWS down there at the bottom is running. Uh, Okay, this will eventually get there. I have to say Windows sucks. Okay, there we go. All right, so as I said, we got TWS working there. So this has got to be running in parallel locally on your system. So this particular script is actually not in a Linux USL. It's actually in the Windows command prompt or shell or whatever you want to call it, PowerShell. You could probably do the same thing. So what I do is I can run it, and the problem is a couple of things. So there's 46, let's say, future contracts that my system can generate. I've shown that many times. But here's a summary. So in this case, we looked at 44 symbols for futures, and we're trying to extract current options chain data. Couple of notes here. When you're working with TWS and you're trying to stay away from paying out a subscription, $30 bundle, you will be very limited what you can do. So I'm still trying to figure out if it's because I didn't opt in for that bundle, or is it better just to do what I'm doing here? So I've kept it every time I go out and request from the TWS via Python API. I am saying only download an option chain data 6 weeks out. I've done it for the entire year. That's going to be over one. The option chain will have about 1.5 million rows of data in that, so it's going to be a lot anyways. Um, but 6 weeks is what I can get, so it might be good enough. Optimally, you want 3 months worth, but 6 weeks without a subscriptions where I'm at. On top of, you can see here, we only have 44 processed, but I'm only able to download successfully 15. Okay. So that's all I get that, and I'll show you a couple of those files. The other thing is it comes back saying that there's other of these instruments, symbols, and futures options world 29 do not exist or not available. Again, I'm not sure if that's because of the subscription I'm not subscribed to. So you can see here, this also includes Ethereum, Bitcoin, Canadian dollar, CHF, New Zealand, some big ones. But it does kind of work for some small ones currently as is. So what we're looking at here is we're able to get a 2 year a 2 year bond. We get some cotton here, Dow Jones, sugar, gas, orange juice, copper, sometimes oil, as I said. That's oil again, aluminum, and I believe I was able to get gold as well. So I'm able to get it working with micro gold. And I've seen it as well working with silver, but not when you batch it. Again, I don't know why that is. But what I'm going to do is I'll be putting on a request to Interactive Brokers API support to look at this script and tell me why, if it's because I don't have a subscription. As I said, it could get over, if it's over 100, let's say 150 a month, 125 a month. What I will do is I'm going to use hopefully another alternative source. I'm going to put those requests out today to see if I can confirm if my requirements can be met with the current level of subscription with that service, and it will be somewhat affordable versus the data BenQ, which was, as I shown before, 2,000, 4,000 per month. And that's all data from the CME. On top of, I'm looking at how to access it. I'm probably going to get a spreadsheet add-in, very sophisticated one, with some basic .NET API. I've shown that before on my channel, YouTube channel, so you might get lucky there if you find it. But I might renew those subscriptions and reactivate the product. Anyway, so that's where we're at there. So let's take a look at um, some of the option chain data. So in here, let me just see right here. So this is what's generated, as I've said before, and this is in the Windows, not WSL. Okay. So in here, I could look at, as an example, I could look at the chain data for oil, option chain data again. This is very valuable. This has been generated in the last 12 hours. This is about 6 weeks out. So today is June 3rd, and let's see how far it goes. So you can see here we've got our symbol name, our call put, our strike price, the expiry, the multiplier, bid and ask price, uh, and that's the juicy stuff. That's what we want, okay? And if I move it over here, we've got the underlying contract, the close price, the timestamp, the future, and the mid price. Okay, that's on the option. So all of that is very valuable. Okay, so really, the expiry, or sorry, the strike price, the bid on the bid option chain, and then the ask price as well on that particular chain and that particular option contract there. So this is important to get the real deal is important. So this is a sampling of what I could get, and let me just show you how far down we can go. A lot of it's driven by volume on how big it is. So in our case, we got 47 or almost 5,000 rows here. So now we can go as far down, far ahead to July 17th, which is roughly 5, 6 weeks out, which is okay considering. Now, if I wanted to look at another one, let's take a look at probably another one people might ask about is Dow Jones. Let me pull that one out. So this is the only equity one I can get, like market index at this current rate. So if I pull that one out, let's see what that one has. So this one, you can measure uh, how popular it is based upon the size of the option chain. So here it's the same data, okay? Call, put, bid, ask, um, and so on. And this one probably goes out again, very similar. Let's see here if I can get it. Yeah, here, the magic of touchscreen. So we're roughly at 2,300 again. So that goes out to the end of July. So that's going to be almost 2 months out. Uh, so you can see here, sometimes we don't get the bid asks price. Again, I don't have control over that. Um, so I guess it depends upon liquidity, volume for those particular chains as well. Yeah, see, there's bid ask. So there's a little bit of activity here on these right here. Okay. And that's period of June 3rd. So that's probably like a 0 day option, but nothing else. So we don't have much action for that. But again, that depends upon the instrument as well. All right, so that's something like Dow Jones. So some of this option chain data may be not really beneficial. Just saying. So there's that. One other thing I want to highlight here is a document. I'm going to put a separate blog post on this. But what I did was now this is only, well, I guess this could be universal for any broker, but um, I did want to get the information specifically for what's going on here. So with this one, um, yeah, here. Okay, there we go. So with this document, I asked for it to give me the minimum price of the contract with margin for future, along with the premium as well. So, as I showed earlier with the file for oil or Dow Jones as examples, this is what we need to understand here. So, let's look at, I don't know, one of the currencies, Japanese yen. You can see here the contract size will be 12.5 million, but this is the key right here. When you look at the typical option premium range, the cost will be anywhere from $100 to 2,000. Um, if we look at any of the bonds, it's the same 50 to 1,000 on the premium. And the depending upon what kind of instrument is out there, 100, 2,000. This is for cocoa, orange juice, livestock. Crypto, same. Ethereum's probably one of the lower ones for crypto. This is this is what's happening for interactive brokers. So depending upon here's how the option premium works. So if you have represent typical at money, near the money, options 30 to 60-day expiration, deep in and out of the money options, or those with very short, long expiration can be outside the ranges. So that's what drives the standard premium cost for options. Micro contract for major markets like MGC, MES, MNQ, 1/10 the exposure, making them accessible to smaller accounts. Okay. So again, for commission, and this is one of the better things with interactive brokers, or commission fees are a lot lower than made other brokers. If you have the experience, let me know. With interactive, it's 85 cents to a buck 50 per contract for future, and 25 cents to 85 cents for future options, which should be added to the overall consideration. So there's that to also include um, as well. Here's a margin requirement on futures. Actual margin requirement vary based on market volatility and change without notice. So depending upon what's going on in the markets with a risk to IBKR, they will assess whatever your margin requirement will be. Portfolio margin may be, which may reduce overall requirements. So it depends upon market conditions. So just want to put that out there. As I said before, um, if you want to know more about this stuff, come to the Learn tab at quantlabsnet.com. Fill in your info. You get a HFT C++ ebook just to show all the C++ type of coding, put into an HFT firm. All your info. We don't spam, so all your info's kept private. Another thing we're trying out here is the free 7-day trial for anybody who wants to learn more about the analytics we generate, because we generate our own data. And out of that comes strategy opportunities as well. So just trying to figure out what people want. So it's a 7-day trial, no cost, and then that price there per month. So let me know. And I'm always on the comments and stuff as well. But we're very close to a working with option chain data. As you read the requirements, 60 days is pretty well the best. If you watch Tasty Trader, they're all about the 0-day trading. I have to dig more into that to verify that and figure out why. But it's for those 15 assets I've shown you, it works. But I'm gonna may go to alternative sources to see if I can get better option chain data as a supplier and a better data source with a spreadsheet add-in as well for all the non-programmers out there. It's a very powerful add-in spreadsheet. It's very powerful. And then that, thanks for watching. Have a good day.